Hey guys, welcome back to the Thisissoul Skate Shop YouTube channel. Today I'm gonna do a full review of the Rollerblade Twister and Rollerblade Maxxum skates. These use the same type of boot, so that's why I'm bundling them together. I'm gonna run through the history of the brand Rollerblade, the history of this boot type, compare the different models that are on the market right now, and tell you my honest opinion about them. Plus, I'm gonna inform you on the ways you can improve on the skate. So, if you wanna learn more about the Rollerblade Twister and Maxxum, continue watching this video. We are right now in our store in Amsterdam, and welcome to our video. If you ever need anything skate related, you can always come here, and we have educated staff eager to help you with any questions. If you're not in the ability to come by in our store here in Amsterdam, then you can always go to our web shop, thisissoul.com. We are one of the biggest inline skate shops in the world probably. So you can find all the specialized brands like the Rollerblade brand on our web shop as well. And we really try to inform you with the very in-depth knowledge on all these products. So if we ever in this video as well say any terms that you don't know yet, check out our YouTube channel or our website and learn more about the sport there. The Rollerblade brand is one of the OGs in inline skating. It's so OG that in America and Canada and also the UK and Australia, in these countries, they don't say inline skating like you're supposed to, but they sometimes say, let's go rollerblading. So they use the brand name as the verb for the activity. This is of course not the right way to do it. The sport's called inline skating. But it does kind of show how big of an impact the brand had. Rollerblade came out in the early 80s with their first skates, and these were, if you look at it, the real first good quality inline skates ever in the world of inline skating. Like throughout the 17th, 18th and 19th century, there's been different brands coming out with inline skates, but the Rollerblade ones were the first ones that you could really kind of like practically use and also do some tricks with, because they were the first skates that actually had a buckle and kind of like resemble something that we use today. These early skates, by the way, that were made in the 80s by the Rollerblade brand were actually produced by the Roaches brand in Italy. Because Rollerblade was kind of like the first good brand in that way, they did a lot of marketing, and that's why they were kind of like one of the founding fathers of our sport. Throughout the 90s, they grew a lot, and Rollerblade got bought in like 1991, I think, by the Nordica group, and later in like somewhere around the 2000s, they were bought by the Technica group. So they changed ownership a bit, and they are now owned by Technica, and this is also a ski brand. So there's a lot of material knowledge and a lot of, yeah, kind of like corporate good stuff behind the Rollerblade brand that you can also see in how well they are made. It's a really high quality product. In their latest acquisition of the Technica brand, in that merger between these two brands, Technica also had an inline skate, and this is kind of like where the roots lay of the modern day Twister Edge and Maxxum skate, because this Technica skate was kind of like the first modern type of skate that we now know, in the way that it had the 165mm mount, which is also on this Rollerblade Twister here. And in a lot of other, like an NFR skate or Power Slide Imperial, they also have kind of like a similar look to it. And this Technica skate was the first skate that had a look like that. This Technica skate then got adapted within the Rollerblade line. So technically I quit with Inline-Skates as soon as the merger became, it was a Rollerblade skate from then, and it was named the Rollerblade Twister. They just added a few holes here and there, and then a couple of years ago we went from the Rollerblade Twister to the Rollerblade Twister Edge, and that's the current model that's out on the market right now. What changed between the Twister and the Twister Edge is that they kind of like redid all the molds. They filled up all the holes in the shell, which makes the shell more responsive, more resilient, more stiff, and that's kind of like what you want in a skate. And they added another cool feature, is the metal plate that you can see here. I took the frame off of one of the Twisters. You can see here that there's a piece of metal here, and this was not in the original Twister, and it is in the Twister Edge. So that's a big improvement they made a couple of years ago. Skip to modern day. We are here with a nice lineup of Rollerblade Twister and Maxxum skates on the market right now. Let me run through all the differences between the skates that are out right now. First off, the liners are actually the same, so there's no difference in the liners. There's also no difference in the quality of the materials used, so they're all the same materials. The frame quality is also the same, the shock absorber is the same, the insoles are the same. For the new edition, which is the Rollerblade Twister Edge XT, it has new laces, so that's revolutionary. Whew. Doesn't really matter, these are round, these are flat. But what are the differences is that the Maxxum has a very cool buckle, and it's a crank buckle, so you can crank it to close it like that, and then there's a release button here in the middle. And it's a really nice, sturdy, well-made buckle. So I think probably as a top buckle, this is one of the best on the market. If you ever need a replacement buckle, I can highly recommend this one. Another thing buckle related, which is changeable between the models, is that the Twisters have the same ankle buckle between all of them, and then the Maxxum has a different ankle buckle, again with like the click system, like it cranks like that, so you can tighten it click by click, and then there's a release button in the middle. Another thing that you can clearly see is that there's wheel size changes. So this is probably the biggest difference between all the different models, is that the Rollerblade comes, the Twister comes with an 80mm version, you have a 110mm version, and a 125mm version. This is more for urban skating, and this has a really long wheelbase, so it's meant for really long strides. If you go out and do like a marathon or something, you want something like that. Another small thing is that if you get the 80mm version and you have it in a size bigger, so if you probably like from 45 or up, the wheelbase is 1 centimeter taller. So these are all the differences between all the different models. There's only a few differences, main differences to wheel size. And next topic I'm gonna run through is the fit, how they fit. Then I'm gonna run through all the different parts of the skate and tell you my honest opinion about those and compare it to other skates models and how the quality is there. And then at the last part, I'm gonna tell you all the ways that you can customize the skate. All right, so next topic is the fit. And I think for this skate, it's a very generic fit. So if you have a shoe size EU 42, get the size 42. If you have a regular shaped foot, you'll be fine. The sizing comes from Rollerblade itself as being advertised as single sizing, while in fact this is kind of like a sizing lie. And I made an entire video about this sizing lie called the skate size lie explained. I do recommend to check that to dive deeper in this topic, but in short I can say that while it being advertised as single sizing, actually two different sizes are actually fitting entirely the same. For example, the 42 and the 42.5, there's no difference in if you put the skate on in how it feels on your feet. I know that because I tried it, and that's why we don't buy the smaller versions of these two sizes that are the same, and we only buy the bigger advertised size, and we bundle it on our website as a dual size and advertise it as the true size, so that you can make a more honest choice when you buy it online. So you might see some difference in the sizing if you look on our website compared to other websites, but just so that you know, our website shows the true way this skate fits. Next topic is the flex. So flex, you can have two ways, forward flex and sideways flex. I would say that the forward flex of this skate is not too loose and not too stiff. So that's right where you want it, right? So right in the middle, perfect, good forward flex. Then the sideways flex is really stiff, which is a good thing, because the stiffer a skate is, the more support and the more control it gives you. It means that you're not like skating like this with your feet like this or like that, the way you're not supposed to. Also, if a skate doesn't have good sideways support, it means that the frame underneath the boot can like move a little bit, and this will cost you a lot of energy. So it being a stiff skate, having a good sideways stability will also make it go faster. Next part is that I'm going to run through all the different parts that make up this skate and tell you everything I know about it. The first part, let's take the liner. And as I already said, it comes with just the same liner through all the models. And if you feel this material, for me, it feels as a really high quality type of liner compared to other stock liners. The stock liner being the liner that comes with the skate itself. It just feels really good. It's also comfortable, and it will last quite a long time, but it will break in. So if you first put in your foot, it will be really, really tight, and then after you skate it after a while, it will become looser and looser. I can really say that because we get a lot of old skates here in the store, and when I compare like a used old liner to the newer version, you can actually see the differences, that the padding shrunk. The boot has a little bit of a heel raise, so meaning that the back underneath your heel is higher than the front. This is the way you want a skate to be, but inside there's still a little shock absorber, and I would say that's just about enough. It's maybe a little bit rough sometimes if you don't have a shock absorber, but it does mean that you have more control if you don't have a shock absorber. And if your shock absorber is too thick, then it's kind of like too squishy underneath. You lose a lot of your control and your energy, but it does give a nice ride. So to get the nice balance, Rollerblade just made a little small shock absorber, which is perfect in my opinion. I wouldn't change that. Also, this shock absorber can only fit in this skate, so you cannot really put another one in to replace it. You could put an extra one in, but that would mean that you stand a little bit higher in your skate, and I don't recommend that. The way that this boot is shaped is perfect. Next topic is the cuff. The cuff is this light brownish part right here, and it's the part that's able to flex forward. There's some cuff bolts here which are replaceable, so you can actually open this up. That's a cool feature, but it also means that you can lose the cuff bolt. It doesn't happen a lot for this rollerblade skate. Some skates, they just lose the cuff bolts a lot. So you're pretty safe with the cuff bolt like this for this skate. And to open it, you need a little tool. There's this little tool in the box if you buy the skate. If you don't have it, you can also buy it separate on our website, of course. And you take out the liner, and then you put it in from the inside, and that enables you to hold the T-nut while you unscrew the cuff bolt. A cool thing about this cuff is that because of the shared history with roaches, while what I mean is that roaches used to make the rollerblade skates in the 80s. Because of the shared history, the cuff sizing stayed the same. So you can put this cuff on any modern roaches skate, which is like a hard boot roaches skate, at least, not the crappy soft boot ones. The Rollerblade Twister Edge cuff has these flaps here, And these flaps tend to be a little bit long. And while it's not a really big problem with this skate, like the Power Slide Next or the FR skates, with these, it's a real problem. With this one, not so much, but just it is good to know that it's possible to cut them off. If you just take like a saw or a really good pair of scissors, then you can cut this open, and sometimes you need that to close the skate better around your foot. Not really a problem for the skate, but still good to know. Then, of course, on the cuff is the buckle. So that's the next part of the skate I want to discuss. This buckle is actually pretty good. It closes always, it doesn't break easily. We never get any repairs for this buckle. We don't get any complaints compared to other buckles, which might fall apart after a while. So my honest opinion about this buckle, don't replace it, don't think about it, it's perfect. Then that's of course the Twister Edge buckle, and I already told you the Maxxum buckle is also one of the best. So buckle wise, Rollerblades on top of its game. Next topic is the insole. I just took it out for you to show. Of all the stock insoles on the market, this is probably one of the best I've seen yet. That doesn't mean that it's perfect though, because I always skate the Superfeet insole, and I see and I feel that it's very much like a Superfeet, but definitely not there yet in how good it is. So what you want as an insole is a lot more stiffness for good power transfer. Your foot is kind of sitting in this static shell, and it needs to be locked into its resting position, and it needs to be hold there. So compare it maybe to like if you have a cast around your arm. The cast doesn't feel uncomfortable, but it is hard. And that's also what an insole should be. It should be hard, but in the right shape. And this insole is still a little bit flexible in this way. And the Superfeet insole is completely stiff here. So it holds your foot in perfectly and gives you all the control. Because you're actually standing on the insole, so maybe the insole is one of the most important parts of the skate. So you really want to have this high quality. Again, this insole, one of the best stock insoles I've seen. Next topic is the frame. So there's 4 type of frames on the market. There's carbon frames, which is really new and not really used yet. There's full CNC, which is also only done by the Wizard brand. So it's not very common, but the 2 most common techniques for like a high quality skate, like which I'm showing you right now, is either extrusion or casted. And casted frames are brittle and they break easily, and extruded frames are a lot longer lasting, good quality, high quality frames. So if you want to learn more about that, by the way, I have an entire video on YouTube about frame materials, so dive into that. But I can tell you that material wise, the frames are really good. The frames are bolted or mounted on the boot with the 165mm mounting standard. This standard means that there's a height difference in the front and the back of the skate, like I already told you with the raised heel. And that there's 2 bolts with 165mm difference between them. I can show you the holes right here. So it's this one here and it's this one there. This is a very generic mounting type. A lot of boots on the market, like a Fila NRK or Rollerblade Cruiser or Power Slide Imperial, they all use the same mounting technique. So that means that there's an entire marketplace for aftermarket frames. Also, of course, on our website, thisissoul.com. If you want to have a frame that fits this boot, you can just go to frames and then select the 165mm mount. That brings me to, by the way, now we're talking about our website. We also have a skate part finder tool. And if you're ever in doubt about what part will fit on your skate that you have, the Rollerblade Twister, then you can also go to our website, go to parts, and then we have one page dedicated to all the parts especially for this skate. So it will tell you what I just told you about the frames, but also what mounting standard type of buckle there is, or what laces will fit, or like any information you want about aftermarket parts is on that page. So that's a good little side note right there. Continuing about the frame topic we were talking about, the Rollerblade Twister Edge version with the 80mm has a cool feature. You see that the frame here around the wheel is pretty narrow, the way you want it. But at the top, it goes wider and wider, which adds to the stability of the frame. Because if you have like a cheap inline skate, one of the things that's cheap about it is that the frame can independently move from the bottom of the boot. You can just like move it around a little bit like that. And in the design, you want to do everything you can to prevent this. So having it wider here at the top is a really smart way to make the connection between the frame and the boot extra solid. It's interesting though that the 110mm version of the Twister does not have that feature, I just noticed. And the Maxxum has it, but it's very slightly. So this only goes for the 80mm boots. That wraps it up for the frames. Next topic is the wheels. All the skates that I have right in front of me here have the Rollerblade hydrogen wheels. If you know anything about skate wheels, then you know that the Rollerblade hydrogens are one of the best wheels on the market. A lot of the Rollerblade Twister and Maxxum skates come with the hydrogen wheels. Some actually don't. So if you ever see a price difference between two skates that kind of like look the same, maybe they're both Rollerblade Twisters and they both have 80mm, but there's a price difference, then probably this is because it has like stock wheels and not the hydrogens. All right, let's talk now about the ways that you can customize this skate. The first thing I would do is put on another frame, because I am not a fan of the big 3 wheels, and 80mm for me is too short. So I would put on like a 90mm frame flat, meaning all 4 touch the ground, or 4x100mm with a rocker, meaning that the outer wheels are a little bit higher so that you still have maneuverability. I really like that because then you're like really stable. We have NN frames, endless frames, and there's Icon and Powerside's coming out with a few different frames as well. So there's a whole aftermarket for the frames. So that's one thing that I would definitely change on this skate. Another thing is I would probably cut off the cuff a little bit for myself. Not too much, just like 1 or 2 centimeters to make it close easily. It is possible to change the cuff color as well. We have aftermarket, there's a little bit older edition Rollerblade Twisters. So it's not the Twister Edge, but like the OG Twister. But we do have different color options for the cuff as well. I would not do that. I like a black skate, but that's just the way I always skated. Then I would for sure also put in an intuition liner. That's the liner I always skate. It's really comfortable yet hard, and the hardness means that that you can control the skate better. So in the softness of a liner, your motions kind of like disappear in the padding, and this actually takes a lot of energy but also control of the skate, and you don't want that. So high quality expensive liners are comfortable but hard. I would also put in some waxed laces. These laces are fine, but if you really want to tighten a skate really hard, you'd put in some waxed laces. I would also put in the super Thisissoul. Like I already mentioned, it gives you also better control. And it's just for my feet in particular, I really need it to be comfortable. And if you have a version that does not have the hydrogen wheels, then definitely replace the wheels to some hydrogens. But most skates actually come with hydrogen wheels in this model. So that's one of the things that you probably don't need to change. Also, the bearings are just fine. Basically, an all-around very good skate. And if you can get your hands on a pair of these, because they only like drop like once a year and get sold out really quickly. If you get your hands on, you're very lucky. So that's everything that I know about the Rollerblade Twister and the Maxxum skates. If there's anything I missed, please drop it in the comments so that I and also all the others watching this video can learn about that. We make a new video like this every week. Sometimes they're reviews, but sometimes they're lessons or in-depth knowledge about specific hardware parts. So if you like videos like that, consider subscribing to the channel, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye bye. Tell them what sets them apart. Is 1 centimeter. Oh shit. I'm a bit stumbly, man. Skip to right now.